Hello, I'm Aaron Froese, and I'm showing the prototype of my project for electrical engineering design. So my project was design an Arduino-based outside temperature and indoor light data logging system using a local Grafana server. Um, so I'll show you my data flowchart that I made first so we can get kind of an understanding what we're looking at. So this was my general idea of how the data would flow in my project. We would have two sensors that go into the Arduino, and then the Arduino would communicate with some middle server, and then this middle server would go to the Grafana server. Alright, so that's that. So I will next follow with showing you guys my wiring. Alright, so I'll bring this over here. So these are the two cases that I built for my project. Well, modified. So this is my main housing. I have a photoresistor on the top to measure indoor light intensity. Coming in the back is the USB cable going to the Arduino, which also provides power to the Arduino. And then at this side, this is the cable that will connect to the outside temperature sensor. And the cable connects to the temperature sensor housing. Lift it up, there's the temperature sensor in here. This casing is waterproof, and yeah, so there's a sensor. Make sure that doesn't fall. So I have this rigged up, so I can take off the cap. I can just unplug the photoresistor. I'll move these wires out of the way. And I'll bring the circuit up to you so you can have a good idea of what it looks like. So I know it's difficult to see, but I'll just give you a brief overview. So these two wires, the red and the black, are the power wires going to the sensor. It's going from the ground bus and the power bus into the cable back here. This green sensor is the communication wire going to the temperature and humidity sensor. This blue wire here and the red wire here are the two wires that connect to the photoresistor. And the blue wire is also connected to a little bus down here. I know it's very hard to see. And on the bus there's also a little resistor, and the resistor connects to ground, and this creates the voltage divider for the light sensor. So that's the basic circuit. I'll include better photos of it in the final project, or in the final submission for this part. Alright, so let me put this back together. So these little connectors just snap onto the end of the photoresistor. And the cap can just slide back on. It closes. Alright. Now, so next I'll walk you guys through my basic code. So I'll start with my Arduino code. So there's the basics. I won't walk through every little bit of it, but I just want to show you guys that it is here. So then we have a library for the DHT sensor, which I did not create this library. I got it online, and it seems to work well. And then I created a little tiny library for the light intensity. It's just a single function. Just makes it more organized for logging data. And I can show you guys this works by opening up the serial monitor. And now this is logging all the data. Now it kind of looks funny because I kind of want to set it up so it was easy for the Python program to pick it up and understand it. But yeah, these are all the values being communicated over. So if you look, you can see T27, that's the temperature is 27, H92, the humidity is 92, and E is 7, or yeah, E just means end. Yeah, so that's, the Arduino is sending information onto the COM5 port. And then the Python program to retrieve the information from the COM5 port. I'll open that up. So this is the Python program that I wrote. So there's the main loop. As I said, I'm not going to go over it. This is the SQL lib that I wrote. That just makes it a bit easier for me to communicate with the SQL server. And I'm using the MySQL connector library. And this is the Arduino data lib library I made. Still some comments in here that I'll clear out. As we know, this is only the prototype. So now let me run this to show that the Python program is actually receiving the data. So apologies if the typing is loud. So serial is open, true. And here are the data, the values coming through. So we have light intensity of 5%. If I put my finger over the sensor, it goes down to 0, or basically 0. We have temperature of 26 and humidity of 95. And that's Celsius. This is unit for humidity. I can't remember what it is. I'm not sure. And then the unit I use for the light sensor is the percentage between the minimum and maximum values for the light sensor. So I found the maximum value the light sensor can read and the minimum value the light sensor can read, and every value is some percentage in between. It's kind of a strange unit, but it's the one that made most sense, as I couldn't actually get a constant value for lumens. So yeah, this is the data coming from Python, and it's actually sending this to the SQL server. So I'll open up the SQL server. I'll just make sure I'm on track. Yeah, so this is what the SQL server looks like. So I created a server called Arduino Data, and I will open this up. So this is all the data that I've logged recently. It's all in there. And my Python program is set to only allow the SQL server to hold so many pieces of data. I just did this so my computer didn't fill up with a ridiculous amount of data, and I think it's set to 360 values. Can't remember why. I believe I did that. I calculated it so there'd be enough values to measure a day worth of information. But that's obviously something I can change. So that's all the data into the MySQL, and if I refresh this, it's constantly coming in. So the data is constantly being sent here from the Python program. Yeah, and I don't know if this is something you wanted to see or needed to see, but the code to create the database was just this. So it wasn't too complicated. But that's what it looked like. Alright, so now the last part of this project is actually sending the data to the Grafana server. So this is Grafana. So my dashboards, engineering design, this is the dashboard that I made. It was looking kind of funky here. So data in the last 5 minutes. So this is what the dashboard looks like. So we're just going to change the refresh time. Okay. So I have temperature on the bottom. So, and I also have temperature right here, just to make it more obvious if you're trying to find the current temperature rather than the trend. So right now it is 26 degrees is what the sensor is measuring in my room. Here we have the light intensity. And then up here we have the humidity. Now let me Split this in half. Now we can see light sensors here. If I cover it with my finger, you can see that the light intensity is going to 0. I take my finger off, I'm going to come back up. And maybe if I even wanted to, I could take my camera or my phone and shine a light on it, and it's going to spike up even higher. So the data coming in is live. I'm in temperature. I'm not too sure that I can effectively change the temperature in my room quickly enough for this video, but I can promise you it is live data. Yeah, so that's the Grafana tour. I hope that's what you're looking for the video. Thank you.